This is not a fictional story. This is an account of what happened to me when I was young. It was a normal day in County Kerry in Ireland. Well, but the rest of you would consider to be normal. The likes of you reading this will probably have a job for some vague description or be some form of education. Not me. I'm a free spirit. I did not when it happened, attend school. I left early because, well, because school wasn't just for me. Let's leave it at that. I was more of a hands-on type of person. I'm not saying I'm stupid because I'm not. It's just that I had a different sort of intelligence than that which was demanded by the education system. Myself descending from an agricultural background, and I'll tell you this, strange things happen out in the country. Strange, eerie things. Growing up in Ireland, I, of course, heard my fair share of folk tales told to me by my dearest mother, God rest her soul. Tales warning me not to obey my parents or else the tall man will get me. But that's not what this is about. I grew up listening intently to these folk tales because that's what they were to me back then. Tales and fables, just stories. I'm not sure if you readers are aware of one of Ireland's most famous folk tales. Forgive me if I'm wrong. A creature known only as the Banshee. I'm 17 now, but this happened when I was around the age of 12. It was a normal day for me and my little sister, who shall remain nameless out of respect. We were playing out in the fields of late afternoon. The winds of Ireland swept across the barely created waves across the land, which rippled in various shapes of golden yellow. The sun was starting to retreat back to the horizon, illuminating the world in rich shades of purple and orange. As usual, me and my sister were playing in the hide and seek in the fields, and me being the older brother, I tended to opt for the seeker, just so I could see her smile, and she laughed as I found her. On the verge of the field were the woods, even when the sun cast celestial vibrancy up on the woods, it still remained dark and foreboding. Anyway, we were playing hide and seek when I noticed something just on the rise of the field before it dipped down again. It was like this black bag, only as this new way I can describe it, just kind of floating there at the bulge. I dismissed it, assuming it was just farming waste, like something had fallen off a tractor. As I continued to search my little sister, she was an excellent hider, and some days I wouldn't even find her at all, causing my mother to panic rather frequently. Through the barley, this black bag thing managed to keep itself fixed in my ethereal vision. Again, I dismissed this, thinking that it was that cause of the wind fluttering the bag around. I noticed the movement in the barley about 20 meters from here, so I crouched down silently, waded through, hoping to find my sister, and hoping that the sound of the wind wouldn't mask me. As I hoped for the sound of the wind, I heard something quite different, sort of like a wailing, very faint and distant, wailing fair in the distance. I stopped intently to make a couple of my ears. The sound of wailing merged from the whistling of the wind coming through the woods, almost like the sound of a kettle boiling. I crouched there listening for X amount of time, 30, maybe 40 seconds. My sister jumped from hiding in a different location, which made me jump out of my skin. The bag blew nearer to me, and I was out of my sight, just floating there. I began to be creeped out. It seemed like it was following me. I shouted to my sister that the game was over and that we were heading back inside. My gaze was fixed on this black bag, which seemed so ominous. My sister appeared on my side. She looked up, looked under. She knew that. Look, I wasn't joking around. I told her to go back in the house, which was just over the wall and 100 yards down from the road. She obeyed, as she knew the tone I gave her. I made sure she got over the wall safely, and then I turned to where the bag was, or at least where it used to be. Seemed to move pressing in a zigzag pattern towards me. I froze with shock. I didn't know what to do. And all I could do was watch this bag come closer and closer, wailing became louder and louder. The sound of a shell shock. After what seemed like an eternity, the bag was in range of being able to distinguish what it was. It wasn't a bag with some sort of black robe, much like the Witch King from Lord of the Rings. Tattered and torn, the bottom of it stained. I stood there, mouth open. In terror, I watched this thing come toward me. This bundle of rag flowed across the field. The wailing became louder, and my heart began to pound, trying to skim my chest. Sweat flooded off me. All I could do was watch this thing come closer and closer and closer. The bundle of rags stopped several meters in front of me, and the wailing stopped. All I could hear now was the heartbeat in my ears, like some ancient primal drums of war thumping away. The bundle of rags rose from the ground and made the blood-curdling shriek a piercing scream which deafened me briefly. I held my ears and felt the blood trickle out of them. A hooded entity filled the robes. It stood tall and thin, white hair flowing out of the hood. It then turned to me and looked me right into my soul. I felt the sharp pain in my chest. I clutched my chest in agony, and I fell on the ground. I let out the same deafening scream, and I noticed the fighting back tears. It was a woman. Pale and hollow she looked. It pointed at me with her long scales of fingers and then pointed in the direction of my house. Then it looked directly back into my eyes. As quickly as it attacked me, it dissipated into a bundle of rags on the ground. I lay there in the earth, panting and sweating, looking at the bloodstains on my hands. As I lay there in pain and fear, because that's what I had just seen, the omen on bad news and death. The Banshee was coming for me. It came as a warning. I had to get back to the house. I stumbled from the earth. Eventually, I ended up in the house. I found my sister standing in the kitchen, silent in shock. She didn't hear me crush to the door. I startled her when I touched her on the shoulder. She looked at me in horror. Tears streaking, speechless, she looked at me. I looked to the floor, where my mother lay dead. Authorities reported she died of a heart attack, but I knew what really happened.